Let me know when we're recording.
Recording started.
Okay, we're recording. It is now 10:03, and we are recording this session of the SSDAC meeting. Good morning, everybody. And we will turn it over to Jason to lead us through. Well, we need to do, I'm sorry, we have to do our roll calls because we're still virtual. Okay, Todd Murphy.
Todd Harden.
Not Todd Murphy.
Present.
I have allergy problems this morning, guys. Y'all just excuse me. I feel like I'm talking out of a well. But it's allergy, it's not COVID. I've been tested. Okay. Murphy's not here. Okay, Todd.
Here. Present.
Todd's here. Commissioner Hawk.
Present.
Okay. And we have David. Present. Carolyn present. Jason, our illustrious leader, is here. And we have one of our sign officials here. And I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. Scott. Thank you, Scott. Okay, and we do have, it looks like we have two of the, let's see, is Kyle representing the sign?
We have Kyle.
I'm Kyle, I'm here, and I represent Image National. We are manufacturing the sign and managing the install.
Okay, we appreciate your presence, and we will give you an opportunity to speak a little bit later in the meeting. Okay.
Please know you'll need your camera on whenever you speak.
Yeah, because that has to be recorded. Okay, go ahead, Jason.
All right. The first application is application number 2205160008. This is sign B in the packet. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Gary Mcclemmy of Texas Sign Services for 632.7 square feet of illuminated attached signs on the southeast elevation. The site address is 903 Slocum Street. It's in the downtown special provision sign district located in the perimeter subdistrict. The zoning is PD 621, subdistrict 1. This is the first of 3 applications for this site. This sign is to be located on the southeast elevation and is submitted as sign B. All are proposed to replace the previous tenant signs. All proposed signs for all applications at this site are of identical construction. All applicable code has been met. This being in the downtown perimeter follows the business zoning provisions for signs. That's located in 51A 7.305. I've included the purpose of that district here. The purpose of the division is to regulate both the construction of new signs and the alterations of existing signs with a view towards enhancing, preserving, and developing the unique character of the downtown area while addressing the diversity of businesses and promoting the economy of downtown. The general objectives of this division include those listed in 51A 7.101, as well as aesthetic considerations to ensure that signs are appropriate to the architecture of the district, do not obscure significant architectural features of its buildings, and lend themselves to the developing retail and residential uses and the pedestrian character of the area. The district regulations are in a large part inspired by high level of pedestrian activity and the need to maximize effective orientation of signage toward the walking public. The applicant proposes to install 632.7 square feet of LED illuminated channel letters against the facade facing Wichita Street, bearing a logo and the name Simply Self Storage. All sign elements are constructed entirely of metal, plastic, and LED lighting. The Simply Self Storage letters will have white plastic faces that will backlight the same color at night. The logo will have a white flexible face with yellow and blue translucent vinyl graphics that will illuminate the same yellow and blue colors at night. All lighting will be accomplished using white LED modules. All returns, retainers, and trim caps will be blue. Both the logo and letters will mount flush against the facade, and the overall projection of these signs will not exceed 5 inches. On June 10th, the applicant submitted a revised option for this sign. The revised option is based on discussion with Commissioner Carpenter, and it reduces the size of the proposed sign approximately 33% to be under 450 square feet. And I've included this comparison and these plans at the end of this presentation. Here's the location of the site. I've made these maps to kind of show how the SBSDs lay out and where this lies in comparison to the rest of the SBSDs. Again, this is in the downtown special provision sign district. Here's a detail of that map showing the site. And a closer detail. Here's the aerial map. You can see it's on the southeast facade facing Wichita. Here's the zoning, and I've included the surrounding uses. To the south, southwest, there's the Greyhound line, which is a bus vehicle maintenance and storage. To the southwest, we have industrial and light manufacturing, as well as office, showroom, and warehouse, which is typical for this district. To the northwest, we have the same use, and then to the northeast, I believe that site to be currently vacant, but it was formerly a government facility and also a halfway house. Here's the applicant provided location map. Again, this is sign B. And the overall elevation.
Jason, just one quick question. Okay, you got the comparison there, okay? Because I was wondering if that was the original request or if it was the reduced size.
This is actually the existing signs compared with the originally proposed sign before the revision.
Okay.
So right now it's 13 foot tall, and compared with the other, it's same height. And then I'm sure it was just scaled to the height, and whatever the width came out, that's probably what it came out to.
Okay.
Jason, do we have what it looks like being shrunken a little bit per Commissioner Carpenter's request?
Yes, I have that at the end of the presentation.
Okay, great.
Since this was the original request, I have to show it. And then the other is an additional option provided by the applicant for you guys to look at.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Here are the sign details of the original. Again, facelit channel letters, backlit channel letters. And you can see the colors and the night view there. And the actual construction details of the sign. You can see all signs mount flush to the wall. And these are some site photos. This is the east elevation, southeast elevation.
Which is where this sign will go?
Yes, this is where this sign will go. These are different views. This is facing southwest down Wichita from Slocum on the left, and then facing northeast on Wichita. That self-storage sign that you see there on the right, facing where I was taking the photo from, that sign will remain from the existing tenant. They're not going to change that out. That sign will just stay there. This is facing southeast down Slocum, and on the right is facing northwest on Slocum. The one there on the left is the vacant building, and then the one on the right are the office showroom uses.
Jason, it looks like it's like a screened parking garage on the one you had on the left.
I believe so.
Okay, because then the sign wouldn't really impact just the parking garage that much.
It is a fairly large building as well.
Okay, thank you.
These are some of the signs from around the district. One of the characteristics I noticed is there's a lot of non-illuminated painted signs just in this area. It's not required by any means per code. I think that's just kind of a direction the design district has kind of moved on down that particular street and some of the surrounding streets like Dragon and Slocum. And these are some of the signs closer to Riverfront. You can see on the bottom left, there are some illuminated channel letters, as well as on the top right with the Domino's sign there. The bail bonds in the bottom left, and let me see if I can, the bottom right, let me see if I can zoom into that.
Because this
You
is
can
only a
kinda-
couple of blocks from the.
Yes, this is on
Stairway,
Riverfront
okay.
next. You can kind of see right here, that self-storage that's gonna remain. So it's there in the background there. All right. And staff recommended approval. This will be the revised option here, sent June 10th. This is the new elevation based on those submitted plans. Here's a comparison versus what was originally proposed and the June 10th revision. The sign has been reduced to 10 foot, 11 and a half, so roughly a foot in height. Here is the sign detail along with the illuminated view. And now it's at 449.4 square feet.
Which does meet the request of less than 450.
Correct. We do have Kyle Onsott and Gary Mcclemmy. Kyle being with the manufacturer,
And Gary's also
and
with
Gary being the applicant from Texas Sign, Kyle being from Image National.
Thanks. And I apologize for not recognizing Gary before because all I saw was initials. I beg your pardon for that. Okay. Do we have any questions?
Jason,
I have a-
what, I'm
I
sorry,
have a
Jason, what's that? Oh, go ahead, Commissioner.
Go ahead.
So based on, I'm assuming that, there's a science, not I'm assuming, there's a science to signage and proportionality and all of those things. And I want to make sure that we hear the commissioner's request and make sure that we can honor it as best possible without inhibiting, any visibility, et cetera, et cetera. Based on the reduction in size, does the applicant feel confident that this will still meet their needs for
That's a question.
visibility, et cetera, et cetera?
Kyle, do you want to address that or Gary?
Sure. Yeah, I got you guys. So as a representative of not only the manufacturer of these signs, but also for the brand Simply Self Storage.
Kyle, if you would, state
Yes.
your name and address.
Sorry, my name is Kyle Onstott. We are over in Boise, Idaho. Do you need my full address?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Got a card right here. We are on 16265 Star Road, Nampa, Idaho, 83687.
Thank you.
Thank you. So as a representative of these, not only the sign manufacturer, but for Simply Self Storage, I can tell you that the brand Simply Self Storage does definitely want to maximize their sign capacity, whatever the commission comes down on. In kind of my talking with Commissioner Carpenter, she had suggested not only that sign E be reduced by this 33% and kept under that's 450 square feet, but also sign E, which is another sign. Sorry if it's later in the presentation. I'm not used to these whole things, but if for sign E, she wanted us to also reduce that to about 45%. To match sign D, which is another sign that we are proposing for this location as well. So obviously in the spirit of doing whatever we need to be good neighbors around here, we're willing to reduce those signs. But if we can keep them to whatever your maximum is, it does definitely help for the viewability of the traffic in the area. And so we are happy to help with any accommodations like that. But if we do, if they do say something like, 450 square feet is the maximum that we can do in this area, they're going to try and take every inch of it if possible.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for that. That's very helpful.
And Jason, just as a point of clarification, if I'm not mistaken, what we have in our original code is the upper limit on size of signs that are allowable, correct?
I don't believe this sign even came.
No, it was like, one of them was
pull it
5%,
up.
one was 3% of the allowable.
Okay.
So that's why I think it was a matter of, if you've read the disclaimers and what they look at, is if the commissioner feels that it is in the best taste and appearance of the district in which that sign is going to be located, then that's one of the criterion that they look at. So Jason, am I correct in that? Because you've stated that in our, the purpose and the considerations.
It's the appropriateness to the district and the effect on the surrounding properties is what you're evaluating.
And I'm assuming that's what triggered Commissioner Carpenter's input on this particular sign.
My understanding was the applicant reached out to Commissioner
Oh, okay.
Carpenter.
Thanks for doing that. That kind of eliminates some delays in the process then. Okay. David, do you have a question too? I'm sorry.
Jason, we saw the area around there. What's on the other side of 35, 35 right there? Is that residential towers or office towers?
Over here,
Yeah, on the right side.
let's see if I can get my mouse going. There we go. Over here,
Across there,
Yeah, across
David?
35.
I know that's Victory. They're putting in, I believe, some residential over there. I'm not sure if they've started development on those yet. That was that sub-district D that went
Right,
through a little
Right.
while
that
back.
went through a while back, okay.
You do have some hotels and residents. The W Hotel and Residence is kind of across the street and up a little bit, so it would have direct view of this.
Kind of up in here.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I think personally, the reduced size is very appropriate for the area. A lot of the signs in that area are not huge and enormous, but they're visible, and I think this is still large enough that it's going to be very visible.
Okay, I guess then, do we have any other questions or comments? Did we have any further comment from Kyle or from Mr. Mcclemmy?
Mcclemmy.
No, I covered pretty much everything I need to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Point of order, since we have two proposals, two options, how do we want to handle that? Do we need to have a formal vote on the original request before we proceed to looking at the subsequent modifications?
My understanding would be that you just make a motion on.
To
the one you
whichever
want to
option?
recommend.
Okay. Then do we have a motion for either of the options?
I'll make a motion for the reduced one to match what Commissioner Carpenter was looking at. I mean, I think they're making a good faith effort to be a good neighbor, and so I would motion to approve that.
Okay, do we have a second for that motion?
This is Todd. I'll second.
Todd, I'm sorry, say again?
I'll second.
Okay, Todd seconds the motion. And do we have any further discussion before we take a vote? In that case, we'll do a roll call vote so that we have it on the record. Todd, your vote?
4.
For Commissioner Hawk?
4.
4. David, 4. And the chair votes for the second option, the reduced sign.
Thank you.
And Jason?
Yes,
Jason,
ma'am.
we just got a note in chat from Benjamin Van. He said he's unable to join as a panelist.
Okay, let me let him in.
Thanks, Commissioner Hawk, because I'm not dialed in. I'm sitting here just looking at my reports and visiting with Jason. So thanks for catching that.
You're welcome.
We still got a red flag.
Good morning, Commissioner Van. Thank you for joining us.
And Commissioner Van, just to fill you in, we just had a vote on sign B, And the vote was to approve the sign reduction per Commissioner Carpenter's request. Did you have a comment you wanted to make about that before we proceed?
I'm sorry, I'm just getting my tech set up here. I've been on for the last 20 minutes, but I've been, I guess, as a guest. So,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before. I'm sorry about that.
yeah, no problem. I wasn't sure how to join as a panelist, so, but happy to join and get caught up.
Commissioner Van is the newest member to the AdSAC committee.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
All right,
Welcome aboard.
are we ready for the next application?
Commissioner Van, did you have any questions about sign B, which was voted to be approved per Commissioner Carpenter's request to reduce the sign down to less than 450 square feet, which the sign manufacturer has agreed to do? And we voted unanimously to support that reduction.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead then with your next presentation, Jason.
All right. Just a second. All right. The next application is application number 2205160010. This is sign E. It is an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Gary Mcclemmy of Texas Sign Services for 374.2 square feet of illuminated attached signs on the northwest elevation. Again, the site address is 903 Slocum. It's in the downtown special provision sign district within the perimeter sub-district. The zoning is PD 621, sub-district 1. This is the second of 3 applications for this site. This sign is to be located on the northwest elevation and is submitted as sign E. All are proposed to replace the previous tenant signs. All proposed signs for all applications at this site are of identical construction. All applicable code has been met. Again, these signs follow business zoning provisions. I can read through the purpose again if you like, but it is the same from the last.
You don't need to go through it.
No.
Again, the sign is the same type of construction, 374 square feet of LED illuminated channel letters. This sign faces Payne. Again, the sign construction is identical to the previous sign.
Okay.
Also with this one on June 10th, the applicant submitted a revised option for this sign. The revised option, based on discussion with Commissioner Carpenter, reduces the size of the proposed sign to match sign D on the northeast elevation at 201 square feet. Again, the location and the special provision district location. A detail showing the surrounding districts. A little bit closer showing how those impact this district. And the aerial, this sign faces towards Payne up to the northwest.
Okay, Jason, this is 0010, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we do have a typo. I think it's page 2. And it says that it's probably due to a copy and paste, but it says southeast elevation again instead of the northwest elevation.
And that's
So
on
we need to get
page-
that corrected before this goes to CPC.
Okay, that was in the report on page 10, you said?
It's sign 60010, but I believe it's page 2 on the report. Yeah, page 2, it's like the third bullet down.
Okay,
We just need to correct the elevation.
I can do that. And the surrounding uses, again, the same there. And the applicant provided location map. The elevation of the originally proposed sign. Here's a detail shown a little closer And the sign details. Construction and mounting details. And the site photos. This is the elevation this sign is to be installed on. And again, facing southwest on Wichita from Slocum.
And the side that we see in your right-hand picture, that is the sign that remains. It's already installed there, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just want to be sure.
Yes, the one on the right is currently installed, and it is my understanding that that sign will remain.
Okay.
And facing southeast on Slocum, northwest on Slocum. And again, signs around the district. Staff recommends approval. And this is the revised option E submitted on June 10th.
Which was the 201 square feet?
Yes. And detail with a comparison with what was originally proposed versus this revision. You can see it went from 10 feet in height to 7'4" in height. And the actual sign details with the illuminated view down to 201 square feet. And again, staff recommended approval.
Okay, do we have any discussion, questions?
Jason, can you go back to the comparison?
This one?
Yes. I think my original problem with the original sign and the proposed one was that proportionally it kind of skewed past the edges of the window. The June 10th revision seems to fit in there better, so it looks better proportionally. I'm just gonna throw that comment out there.
Thank you for the architectural view. That's wonderful, David. Okay, any other comments? Questions? Did we have any comments from the applicant that they would like to make?
No,
Much like the other sign, we just, are happy to reduce down, on this one. This is actually a standard sign for us too, so it's an easy fix for us. So thank you for your, consideration on it.
Okay. Jason, I'm sorry. Commissioner Hunt, did you start to say something? We're picking up some extraneous. Oh, okay.
No, I did not. I was on mute.
Okay. Do we have a motion then?
I will make a motion to approve the June 10th revision.
Okay, a motion to approve the June 10th revision, which is at 201 square feet. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
David, second. And Commissioner Van, just as a point of order, since you are a member of the ADSAC committee and this is SSDAC, unfortunately, you don't get to vote on this one, but we're glad you're here to learn some of our processes and procedures. So I just wanted to make that clarification. Thank you, and thanks for sitting in with us. Okay, we're ready for a roll call vote. Todd, your vote, sir?
4.
4. Commissioner Hawk?
4.
4. David? 4. And the chair votes 4. So again, this is unanimous. And I want to thank everybody for their attention and discussion and for consideration of Commissioner Carpenter's request that these be reduced. So thank you very much.
So this was for the reduction, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
for the reduction.
June 10th reduction.
Okay, the next application, the final application for this site is application number 2205-160012. This is sign D in the proposal. It's an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Gary Mcclemmy of Texas Sign Services for 201 square feet of illuminated attached signs on the northeast elevation. The site address again is 903 Slocum in the downtown special provision sign district within the perimeter sub-district. Zone PD 621, Subdistrict 1. This is the third of 3 applications for this site. This sign is to be located on the northeast elevation and is submitted as sign D. All are proposed to replace the previous tenant's signs. All proposed signs for all applications at this site are of identical construction. Again, this sign meets all applicable code. We've been over the purpose. If I need to reread it, I can. Just
No, you don't need to reread it, I don't think, Jason. Thank you.
And again, signs are identical. The applicant proposes to install a 201 square foot LED illuminated set of channel letters against the facade facing Slocum bearing the name Simply Self Storage and a logo. Construction is identical to the other 2 signs.
Okay, and this is the northeast elevation as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Here's the location map and the SPSD location and a detail and a further detail of the SPSD and the aerial map showing the elevation facing Slocum on the northeast. I guess you could call that the east, but it faces northeast. And the zoning map. And the applicant provided sign location. Here is the elevation. And the detail with a comparison with the existing sign. And the construction details. The mounting details. Here is a photo of that facade, as well as several angles from down Slocum on the right. And facing southwest down Wichita from Slocum and northeast on Wichita. And southeast on Slocum and northwest on Slocum. Again, signs around the district. And signs over on Riverfront. Staff recommends approval.
Okay. Discussion, questions?
Do we have any view that shows the previous sign and this sign in place? Because it's going to be, if you go back to that view of where the signs are going to go, that's that window we just looked at with the sign that's going to be over it. I know the sign ordinance only recognizes as each facade face. It doesn't think about it in terms of adjacent facades. But in reality, we'll have 2 signs right around the corner.
Right, so one would be on the left there where, just above where it says self-storage, that's this sign. And then the previous sign would be over the windows on the right side of that corner.
And that size is, the sign that we're looking at now is bigger than the reduced sign?
Same size.
Same sign as the reduced.
So there are the 2 comparisons there. So it stretches out a little further than the self-storage would in the photos, maybe about 2.5, 3 feet from the end of the building.
But is
Just
that,
looking at scaling.
is the proposed equal to the June 10th that we just approved?
These are identical in size
Okay.
as the June 10th.
Okay,
Because
that's,
they were about 201 square feet.
all right.
Yeah, Commissioner Carpenter's request was that those be the same size.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at, is make sure that at least they're gonna be identical. It's not gonna be one's bigger than the other. Okay,
And I think that was the original request too, wasn't it, Jason?
For this sign, yes.
Okay.
And I think as Mr. Onsot has said, this is a standard size that they manufacture.
right, okay, okay.
Okay.
And will the above grade installation be the same on both of these signs so that they match the height on the building?
I'll defer to the applicant on that. That was not submitted in the package.
Yes, it is our intent to mimic the elevation installation on both of those above grade.
They line up, okay,
Okay, that'll look better esoterically.
definitely.
Other questions, concerns? No other questions for the applicant? Then do we have, before we have a motion, we have one typo in here. Jason, you're gonna stop me from reading these, I'm sorry. Again, it's probably a copy and paste error. The top of page 2 where it has background, says subject size is located in the farmer's market sign district. And I think anybody on CPC would catch that immediately, so I just didn't want to have it out there since it is still Slogan Street. And double check the PD because I did not look at that. It says, and it's on PD number 357, sub-district 5A.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah,
I'll
just
check.
verify that. Listen, we're a team. We work together so that we are.
No, I appreciate it. I'm processing all the sign permits right now too, so.
Oh, no, okay. Okay. Then, do we have a motion, since we will have that correction entered on Jason's report?
I'll motion to approve.
Motion from Todd to approve, second.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Hawk is second. We'll do our roll call vote again. Okay, David?
In 4.
4. Todd?
4.
Commissioner Hawk?
4.
And and Chair votes 4. Okay, so that one is unanimously approved as well. Thanks, everybody.
All right, the final application, application number 2205-160030, is an application for a certificate of appropriateness by Carlos Juarez of Royal Signs for a 97.8 square foot illuminated attached sign at 302 West Jefferson Boulevard. Again, the address is 302 West Jefferson on the north elevation. It is in the Jefferson Area Special Purpose District, which is PD 316, Sub-District 1. The proposed sign is to be an update to the existing tenant sign originally installed in February 2003. The proposed sign will face West Jefferson. This sign does meet all applicable code. Just a little background, PD 316 was put in place to replace the Jefferson Boulevard sub-district, or special provision sign district. So now signs follow the PD instead of the special provision sign district. The applicant proposes to install a 97.8 square foot LED illuminated channel letter set on the north facade of the building. The sign is proposed to read Jack's Dollar Party Items and Event Decor. All sign elements are constructed entirely of metal, plastic, and LED lighting. This sign will have a layered effect utilizing 5-inch deep backlit channel letters, an 1/8-inch deep halo lit backplate, and a 6-inch deep wireway. Each channel letter is proposed to have a white plastic face with yellow, black, and red translucent vinyl graphics that will backlight the same colors using white LED. All trim cap and returns are to be white. All letters will be mounted on a black metal backplate. The backplate will halo light using white LED, and the overall projection of the sign will not exceed 12 inches. The purpose for the Jefferson Area Special Provision Sign District. The purpose of this article is to regulate both the construction of new signs and the alteration of existing signs with a view towards enhancing, preserving, and developing the unique character of this district. These signs have been these regulations have been developed with the following objectives in mind: to protect the historical and architectural character of this district from inappropriate signs in terms of number, clutter, style, color, and materials, to ensure that significant architectural features in this district or of a building within the district are not obscured, to promote the economic success of each business within this district and in turn the collective success of this district, to ensure that the size and orientation of signs are geared towards a high number of pedestrians in this district, to enhance the aesthetics of this district, to promote the safety, communication efficiency, and landscape quality and preservation. I need to update the location. It's actually to the south, and these others will show that a little better. There is the Jefferson SBSD there. And here's a detail. And you can see the original Jefferson sign district and where the PD has expanded that and absorbed it. So this is a part of the original Jefferson Special Provision Sign District. And the aerial, this is on the north elevation facing Jefferson. Here's the zoning map with some of the surrounding uses. To the north is office, as well as a restaurant complex right across the street. There's personal service to the west, general merchandise also directly to the west, and then a medical clinic across the street to the east. Here's the applicant submitted location and the elevation. Here is the sign detail showing the size and the construction details. Here is the subject site. This is facing the storefront, and then a view from the east and west side of the storefront. There is a cabinet going on the west side that I believe is going to be refurbished. It's currently not in place, but I believe that will be the case. And here is facing west on Jefferson. You can see the Jefferson Tower back there. And then facing northeast across the street, you can see the Texas Theater there on the right. And facing east on Jefferson and west on Jefferson. Here are some of the signs around the district. The upper left is that medical use. It's an older style of signs. I think they're neon, the optical clinic. The Justice Finance would be constructed the same way as this sign is. You can see some of the awnings there. And then the Texas Theater. Staff recommended approval. We do have one registered speaker. I need to see if they are on the line, which they are not.
Are they in the attended list versus panelist?
No.
Okay.
Share that screen.
While you're double checking that, Jason, just a point of information, because Dallas Police Department is adamant about some of the businesses, especially posters in windows that obscure visibility into the business. Is that a police restriction, or is that something that falls under sign ordinance? It's been a long time since I've read the entire ordinance, so I don't remember.
If it can be considered a sign, it will fall under the sign ordinance.
But if they're like temporary, like paper that are just put up,
If it advertises, then it's a sign.
okay, so if they have a sale
So like
going,
billboards or what do they call them, posters in this district, there are quite a few. If those are in the windows,
there's a certain percentage of visibility that the police like to see, and I couldn't remember because I haven't reread the sign ordinance in a while.
this district allows them to cover 25% of the windows.
25%,
Now,
that was the number I couldn't
It
remember.
doesn't restrict where it's located. In the general business zoning district, it limits it to the bottom 1/3, and you're allowed 15% coverage of the entire window. But the sign has to be in the bottom 1/3. This district
And
doesn't
those look
follow
like
that.
most of them were in the bottom 1/3 that I saw. It was just a point of information because I'd forgotten, I knew there was a restriction, because DPD thinks that improves their ability to police and know if there's a robbery or some other mischief going on inside a business. Okay, thanks. You satisfied my question. Okay, do we have any other questions from the other members of the committee?
This is minor, but I think it was slide 83. Could you go back? I think it was.
This one here?
No, keep going back. Okay, so which is the current, that's one elevation, but then you showed another, which I think is the actual, it's a picture of the sign that might be present there later in the deck.
Where it's all one
It's
color.
there. Yes, exactly. So
So,
that's currently what it looks like, and the facade will be repainted, or
That is what it looks like right now. I took those pictures probably mid last week.
okay.
The banner that's there now would be the one they're allowed to have while this sign goes through the process. That size, I'm not 100% what it is. I would guess it's probably about 4 foot tall by maybe 22, 23 foot long, if I were guessing.
right, but go back to the other one. To Commissioner Hawk's point is that the rendering shows multiple colors where it's all gray right now. So is the intent to paint those blue and light gray?
Oh, the surrounding,
Because what's a
panels
little
on
bit
the-
odd is that the sign kind of jumps that. It's like if you were doing that, would the sign want to be in that lighter block center?
Let me pull the Google history on that.
So that's what we're trying to figure out is this what they're intending on doing?
My guess is that photo there is old.
I'm looking at the light pole too in the foreground. It looks like the
Yeah.
top of it's chopped off, so they may have that gray block. They may have just Photoshop blocked that out.
and Photoshop it in.
Yeah, the current street view, it is all gray. The previous street view, there was a full blue stripe, and let me share that real quick. This was the view here in February of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And if we move it to May of 2022, it's currently all gray. So I believe they took the picture before it was painted and used that to render their sign location on, but I do not believe.
If that's the case, the sign seems to work better with the all gray background than with where it sits on the stripe. So I guess that's kind of what we're trying to understand.
Get that back.
Yeah, because I think it looks better with the all gray.
Mm-hmm.
It just modernizes the whole look.
And then the sign position doesn't look weird, like it looks right there. It
Yeah.
looks weird.
And you said that the applicant is not on the line.
Correct. Let me
Okay.
check again.
Jason, can you go to the photo that's all gray?
Was that from Google?
It's that one
Yeah,
right there.
that one. So I'm also looking at those. Those look like scuppers. Is that correct, David? So to me, I would think they would want it below those scuppers, between the scupper and the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Does look like a scupper.
And it would be if it was, slightly lower, like below the scuppers. It would certainly be more inviting for pedestrian.
Yeah, good point.
Can we motion, with the condition of locations?
Yeah, it's whatever you feel is appropriate to this district. I think the last clarification I got from the attorneys was that you do need a hard reason as to why whatever you recommend would not be considered appropriate.
So in this case, it would be the scupper.
To locate a lot of stuff so it doesn't impact.
It wouldn't, that way it wouldn't impact the water coming off the roof of the building.
Which wouldn't be great because that sign was illuminated, wasn't it, too?
Yeah, well, I guess we're just not seeing we're not seeing a real example of what it would really be because their rendering didn't have the scuppers on there. It kind of just assumed they could put the sign anywhere.
That would be something that you could hold for more information or ask for more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the image they used, they just kind of plopped it in there and covered up the scuppers. So
Yeah,
they're,
they just photoshopped it.
yeah. So it's pasted on top. Yeah. So it's like the image is pasted on top.
Yeah, that doesn't show them. Well, it shows some of them.
Well, it shows some of them and yeah.
And
it
the
would
sign
be-
position now looks like it's right on
Looking
top
at
of them.
looking at the other one, the sign would be right over the scupper.
It
Mhm.
almost looks like they tried to have the difference from the top of the building to the bottom of that facade. Yeah.
Since they have a banner up and it's not having the illuminated sign isn't creating more advertising than what they already have, I move to hold pending till next month, pending clarification on the exact location of the sign.
Okay. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
David seconds. Okay. We'll do roll call to see if we hold this or not. So Commissioner Hawk, your vote
4.
for holding, okay.
Holding. Mhm.
David,
For
for
holding.
holding, Todd,
For holding.
and the chair votes for holding. Okay, so that's unanimous. And let's see, we had one more item of business, which was the minutes. Did anybody find any errors in the minutes or anything that needs to be corrected or amended?
I did not.
No changes? If there are no changes that anyone found, then the minutes stand approved as stated. Okay, and we are basically done. Does anybody have any commentary before we close out the meeting?
I just want to thank everybody for their time. This was very educational. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mcclemmy, and we
you, Jason.
will. Thanks, everybody, for their attendance and their input. We are now dismissed. It is 10:56 a.m.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Y'all have a great
Hey,
day.
Bye.
Hey,
Everybody-
Jason,
Yes.
just note, I'm not going to be available in August for the meeting,
Okay.
So
but I
we'll
will be available in July.
Okay, great.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
We'll make sure
Okay.
Murphy Hall is available.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to give you as much notice as possible.